Hey guys, it's Taku. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well. As you can see, I've got some Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 theater merch to go through here. There's lots to unpack. You might remember a while back that I did an unboxing. Well, I didn't really get to unbox it because a lot of it was confidential information, but here all of it is now. I've gone through all of it and I'm able to show it. So, yeah, if you have not seen the movie, no excuse now. It's out. Go check it out on Amazon Prime. You can watch the whole movie and then come back and then watch this and see what came with some of the theater information. If you went and saw it in Japanese theaters, here's some of the things you could have picked up. So the first one I want to show actually isn't theater merch. It is just a celebration of the Evangelion franchise for the anniversary. This is the Shinji Ikari Nendoroid from 3.0. I had posted him out here with the Spear of Longinus because I think it's so cool. But yeah, the detail's so nice. I love collecting Nendoroids. I have the other four in their school outfits, but I do not have any of the plug suit ones. So this is my first one. I don't know if I'll get the others, just because money. But yeah, here is Shinji with the spear, and I think he's so cool. Next thing I've got is that poster. I actually did, I believe, show this one. This is that postcard. I think it was limited to, it was either 1 million or 3 million copies of this. And I've got it framed, so I'm not going to take it out and flip it over onto the back so I can show you guys. I think I did that in the unboxing. I can't remember. But this is the final poster, or one of the versions of the final poster. So yeah, you've probably seen this everywhere. It's catching a lot of glare, so I'm actually going to put that down. But here is that next piece. This was also in that video. This is the little pamphlet that you get that on the back it said, do not open this before watching the movie. And the reason is because when you open it, it does have some credit information, and or not credit information. This is the one that lists the Evangelions. And there's a lot more here that I have not read, but you can see that it talks about the Mark 10, 11, 12 that are otherwise missing from the previous 3 rebuild films. It jumps all the way up to 13. But this is that scene. It's one of the scenes from the movie. It's a scene with Asuka in it, so that's probably why she's on the cover of this one. So I don't know what was in the Rey one, but I like Asuka. I think Asuka's best girl, so I got this one. Next, we've got the big packet. You guys might remember it came with the big a big photo art book thing in it, and this is pretty much just a Japanese little advertisement booklet. So I'm just gonna go through this. I'm not gonna really say too much about the book, but I will thumb through all of it for you guys. And I think I want to talk about the film, but geez, there's just so much to this movie that, well, I think that's it. There's just so much going on. I want to, like, 1 minute I'm like, you know what, 3.0 plus 1.0 was the perfect ending. It got everything that I wanted in it. But then I think realistically, I'm like, that's not true. There was stuff that I did want to see build upon. I wanted to see, I mean, looking now at how big of a character that Mari is, I wish she was expanded on more. Of course, Anno didn't know exactly what he wanted to do with her, which is fine, but I was hoping that, maybe during the village, all of the village stuff at the beginning, the whole first hour of this film, they would expand more upon Mari's character, maybe going back and forth a little bit more, but they didn't, and it's a bummer. I guess you kind of get what you get, and I'm not complaining. There's nothing about the film that I would complain about other than the fact that we need the physical release as soon as possible, because I need to watch this on Blu-ray, man. Streaming this beast is just not it. I kept watching it. I've watched it, so I've seen it 3 times actually. This is really funny. I like this collab. But I have seen the movie 3 times, and each time I've watched it is in varying qualities. And so, oh, here's the reprint of the manga, I believe, with the new covers. But every time I've watched it, different quality, and so I'm just like, yeah, I want to see this. I want to see this thing on Blu-ray. This is the final print thing that you get here. As you can see, it's all not for sale because it was released in theaters. You went to the theater and they gave this to you, I believe. But it's just a printed signature with Asuka on the front here. I believe it's the same image as the other one. And here is the Rey side. Glad to see the white plug suit again. That was a really nice scene. I actually really did like 3.0 plus 1.0 Rey. I like the way that this all got resolved. Got a little tote bag here, which actually, I bought a lot of these from just various different sellers that were just selling certain pieces. So I actually bought this with the soundtrack, and it was just in it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do it. But yeah, little bag of the logo. And I believe the back, yeah, is just plain, but it's a nice sturdy little bag. It's smaller than I imagined, but it's actually perfect if you were like, I don't know, carrying your iPad or something, or a book or two. So there is this little tote bag. I've got the plastic wrapping of the soundtrack here. The seller was so nice to include it when they sold it to me. There's the 3.1.0 Shiro Sagisu's music from Evangelion. That was one thing about this movie that I thought was perfect. If there's anything that I can say that's definitively perfect about this movie, it is the soundtrack. Every part of this soundtrack hit exactly where it needs to. And I'm really not surprised. This is a sticker that came with the soundtrack, I believe. Also not for sale. So it's cool to get more of these exclusive goods. But yeah, here's the full soundtrack. I've got the others, so they're sitting over here off to the side actually. But I have a 2.0 and 3.0, and here's 3.0 plus 1.0. I need to get actually 1.0 soundtrack, but you can see it's very nice, very high quality box here. I love the hollow foil, and I really like the kind of wraparound that they're doing. Very simple but very nice. And actually, when you open it, that motif continues right here. So you've got the kids on the beach here. Let me get that really nice and close. I love this poster so much. I love this. It's so satisfying, I guess, to see that blue ocean. But there you go. That is the full kind of thing, and it looks like it loops around all the way to the cover. But I'm a huge fan of Shiro Sagisu's music. I love him not only in Eva, he's also done Gridman and a couple of other works. The back behind this, by the way, is just white, so I'm not going to take it out. But I will go ahead and go through this little booklet. Might as well be definitive, right? So this is inside the booklet, and I believe this was, it's going to be a lot of track listings, but it's going to be also, I believe, a lot of, here's an interview. This is behind the scenes, I believe, making of the tracks, because it looks like he's talking about certain dates, maybe as things were coming together. I'll very quickly flip through this. But yeah, the music lands absolutely where it should. I'm so impressed with this soundtrack. I'm actually still listening to it, and I've already done that thing. Here is the main song. That this is the Dream Beyond Belief. What an amazing track! I almost wish they saved it for like the very end of the film, but it's so good where it plays, where Asuka initiates the code, was it 39 or 999? Just amazing score. I also have really grown to love the What If track. That's kind of the third impact song of this movie, if you've seen the other one. And then this, oh my gosh, Citation from Joy to the World. So it's always fun to watch these Evangelion movies and hear like legit classical music get woven in with Shiro Sagisu's signature taste of big brass, big band, and of course a full choir. But Joy to the World, the scene where it hits is just so impactful. It's the scene with Misato creating the spear and forging kind of her own destiny, kind of her last hurrah. And this scene sticks with me so much. And Ave Verum Corpus, I actually, in case you didn't know, I play the cello. I do, these days I do a lot of wedding music. And so when I saw Ave Verum Corpus, or when I heard it rather, in the movie, I was like, no way. They took my favorite wedding song. Like, we play it in a lot of preludes. So it's really funny. Being like, wow, they put my favorite in here. And of course it's around Kaoru. And while I'm here, all of the guitar stuff, all the guitar work is just incredible in this movie. I like hearing the soft classical guitar. You guys are probably sick of me just thumbing through this. Here are the official lyrics for a lot of the operatic tracks. So you can read through those. Some of it's got sort of a kind of a weird prophetic English to it. But I think, again, that's just the way Shiro Sagisu does it. So yeah, in terms of the music, I mean, it hit every mark. In terms of animation, this movie, so you can tell that so much hard work went into the movie. I think the only thing that I didn't love was, I think a lot of people are on the same opinion, and that was just maybe the look of Evangelion Imaginary was a bit of that was a decision. Let's just say that was a decision that someone made, and they thought it'd be a good idea, and it happened. It is what it is, but yeah, I think that's the only animation thing that I would have problems with. Otherwise, the rest of the film is so amazing. And you can see here that this is Thrice Upon Time. Actually, you know what? let me go through the Evangelion extra book first, because this one has a lot of fun fan artwork sort of thing. So here's Misato's the kind of Wunder suits. In case you guys didn't know, this is a chapter of a manga, an exclusive manga that was given out in this booklet. It's Evangelion 3.0 minus 120 minutes. So this is kind of like their T minus 120 minutes right before the launch scene in 3.0. So this serves as a small bridge between 3.0, the beginning of it, and getting up into space. And as you can see, Mari kind of has a little playful scene with Asuka here, and looks like they're joking about Shinji. I read a little synopsis of it, and then I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna pick this up. So, but they're talking here about Mari's like, hey, Shinji's not gonna recognize us because 12 years have passed. We need to be identifiable, and so that's what prompts her. Later on in this, as you can see, here she is remembering Shinji giving the box lunch, which she actually brings up in the final film. But here she is putting on her original plug suit and duct taping it, which actually it solves that little question of why she's wearing duct tape. Is this supposed to be a recreation of End of Evangelion? And no, it's because in this iteration, Mari told Asuka, we need to be identifiable, so let's put on our old plug suit outfits, even though we have these brand spanking new ones. And so, of course, Asuka does it in her very Baka Tsundere manner. And then at the end of here, we've got a kind of distant ray looking out. And here we've got a lot of the artwork. Maybe you've seen some of this on Twitter, but I love this. I love the Evangelion extra so much. But here is Misato and Ritsuko, and I love all the little masks that the animals are wearing, just the different Eva heads. Here is a really awesome plug suit version of Hitakami and Maya here, and I actually really like these plug suits. I wish they kept the colors on a lot longer, because it's so striking. This is also another really fun image. I like this one. You can see that they're fixing up Misato's car. It's the blue car that she drove. And here is Ryoji Kaji. I like that. That was a nice touch in the movie. Here, you can see here, they're singing to One Last Kiss, but you've got Yui, Gendo. Here's Misato and Kaji in the background. And I like the way that Mari is here glancing over, watching them try to connect it. It just helps put a lot of this together. And I couldn't tell who was calling right there, but my guess was Fuyutsuki. You'd probably have to do a translation to figure that out. But yeah, really awesome artwork. And here, of course, is my man's Kaoru, my absolute man's. And here we've got, I think this was supposed to be Tsubame, holding a little Rei plush. And over here, this was really nice. I saw this one on Twitter, actually, before. This is just artwork of Rei and Asuka in their kind of final plug suits. Here is a Kaoru thing. I'm not sure what's being said here off to the side. But this one I also saw before. I saw so much fan art of it too, which made me really happy. Low-key, this is how Evangelion should have ended. I would have loved an ending like this, where all the Evangelion return to the sea. Would have been a really nice idea. Kind of a nice nod, not only to what it means, but also kind of how the previous film ended, the end of Evangelion. But yeah, you've got them all there. This one was also really nice with Fuyutsuki working the stuff to get the piano all wired up. You've got Kaoru holding on to Shinji here. Just really nice artwork. I almost think that in many ways that the fan art speaks better than the film does at times, because yeah, this is just an incredible spread here of all the characters. I love it. And this one, oh man, this is what I mean when action-wise there's just so much happening. I think this scene was just, big action set piece, absolutely unnecessary, but at the same time, am I mad about it? Absolutely not. So glad that we got to see this scene play out. It's really the free fall scene at the very kind of middle end of it. And this one I also saw on Twitter. Very cool artwork of Unit 8 and the 2.0 improved. And then here you've got more sketch type art. Up to the side here, I don't know why Kaoru's included, but I'm not complaining. It's Kaoru. And I believe this is, our last page. So here we've got Toji's sister. And I don't know what this is. It's mechanical design for something. So, yeah, this is the Evangelion extra book. Sorry that took so long. Let's go ahead and flip through now the final version, or the final art book, the final thing I got, and that is the Thrice Upon a Time kind of theater booklet. This is that one that was in plastic that said, do not open, and I totally get why, because there's lots in it. So, here we go. Hopefully I can talk more about the movie and what I like about it. This is the Anno interview. I believe this is going to be the final one. Either that or it's just staffing. I can't remember. Here is that promotional poster. Remember when we got this? It feels like so long ago. I think was it in 2016 or 17? But here we've got full artworks, and I actually own the physical chirashi, the mini posters for both of these. But it's really cool to see the textless versions of them. I think the Paris scene at the beginning is also nice. It's a big action set piece, that really doesn't do a lot in terms of the plot, but I think that it sets the tone for the final rebuild film so well. The final film actually feels like so many different things. It didn't feel to me, though, like 2.5 hours. Like, yeah, what did you guys think? Did it feel like 2.5 hours to you? For me, time just flew by. And I don't know, I think that this scene works really well. I wouldn't have changed it. I think the Wandering the Earth, the little 2 minutes, 3 minutes there, was also really good. The village scene. So I have lots of different ideas, kind of like alternates. I'm not upset about any of the village scene, because I could have... heck, if you're going to make your movie 2.5 hours, you might as well just go 3 hours and just expand upon it more and more. But I would have loved, instead of so much of the village, because you do understand what they're going for, I would have enjoyed it if they met up with the Wunder quicker. And Shinji and Misato just had more time to talk it out. And maybe you got to know Mario a lot better than what we got. I think that would have been a better use of time. This, though, expanding the world here, where he goes out on that little ride, was very nice. I liked this scene. Liked all of the Rei stuff. Again, I'm not upset one bit with how that scene was done. I think it was a really great... I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like if Shinji were to break down one more time, and it would just get really repetitive. So I think his response actually makes quite a lot of sense. But this scene right here was so cool. Revisiting the second impact. I love that moment. That was another great one. And same with her holding like the little picture. It actually made me tear up a bit, I think. This reflecting back on the end of the second movie, that we could obviously go for, that's its own film, but of course we did not get it. Big fancy action set piece. Again, am I complaining? Not really, because I like my action stuff. I think with the rebuild, it just works a lot better to say that stuff. Now, if it were the TV series, I'd be a bit like, what the heck? But this is an entirely different thing. This scene where Ritsuko takes no weight. I love that. Call back to the original end of Evangelion. She does not hesitate. And that, to me, is just amazing. And I actually really liked this whole scene. I thought this would have been, too much. But the way that it was handled made so much sense to me. Just, why are we letting him back in one more time? For them, they would be so confused and upset. And if only that they're bridging, this was just so much longer. I don't know. It was worth more than the 20 seconds that it got. But here's where Shinji gets in the robot and things start to unravel. You've got Evangelion Imaginary, which, that if there's one animation thing that I did not love Evangelion Imaginary. I won't lie. I think I've settled on that one. This, though, is fine. The final or another impact was okay. But it's just the big CG, because it's weird how it's CG and drawn, but then the hair is normal, or it's the hair is anime style, so... I don't know. It was weird. As for the Gendo Redemption arc, I'm okay with it. I'm not too upset. I think some people really were triggered by it just because Gendo's ruined the world. He doesn't deserve it. And, to an extent, I agree with you. And I think that's perfectly logical. He doesn't deserve a redemption arc. And I don't know if it's redemption so much as, he gets the deicide long sought after, which was, of course, a plot twist that he was just trying to put Yui to rest, along with changing the world so that no one had to go through what he did, which, twisted noble villain thing. The Kaoru stuff here, and saying goodbye to Rei, I almost think there should be another page here of that, but this made me pretty emotional. There's that Ode to Joy scene, iconic now, I love it. The Asuka flashback, what a twist, right? Asuka being a clone. In fact, all three of the girls being clones. What a big freaking plot twist. I was not expecting that. Of course, this is just in the rebuild. So if you're trying to apply anything to the classic series, don't, because the rebuild exists as its own story. I don't think it's necessarily a sequel. Here is some interview. I keep rambling on and on and on about the plot because I don't know if I'm going to make the Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0 video that I wanted to. I just don't know. There's so much that I want to say about the film. I almost need to like talk to someone before getting on camera and doing it, because it's just going to come out as a big mess. Because there's lots of it that I like, yet at the same time there's so much of it that it's like, if I were on this project I would change, but I don't know. Then I think back to it and I'm like, you know what, Ano's done with this series. Like, he's done with it, man. I'm almost just more happy for that than the actual end product. It does feel like one big love letter, not only to the franchise, but also to just, I mean, we've seen things that he was intending a lot of it to be for his wife, and I think that comes across quite clearly when you watch this film. And there's so much in it that feels like an old man's regrets, now finally letting go and being able to embrace things. Still think that we could have gotten more Masato, though. More Misato, and especially, oh my god, the way everyone was saying my favorite part of 3.0 was 1.0 was when Misato let her hair down. I absolutely agree with that. It could have all lasted longer. Misato plays such a big role, and then in this final film, it just feels like she doesn't do anything. Well, I mean, not that she doesn't do anything, but speaking of being just sidelined, Ritsuko Akagi, the crime that was done to this queen, oh my god. I just cry because Ritsuko is one of my favorite characters from the series, and I get that the series is really her story, but I wish that they included more about her, and especially her and Maya, just that very interesting senpai-kohai relationship. The rebuild really makes strides to set that up, but then, I don't know, falls into place in a really weird way. Kitakami scene I really enjoyed. Again, I don't know, I'm not upset about that. And then Sakura Suzuhara, I like that Misato once again defended Shinji from a bullet wound, just like she did in End of Evangelion. So it was nice to see also the Eva pilots all grown up. I think it's funny how Toji grew up to kind of embrace the doctor role, because, you know, had to grow up, and then of course Kensuke becoming, you know, the survivalist expert that he is, leading part of the village. And I think that's just like one of the interesting things about this movie, is just a lot of it just feels like growing up and just moving on, and I'm totally fine with that. I think that it's a beautiful send-off to the series, even if the execution of it at times just feels a bit, it just feels a bit weird. Here are interviews for all of these. To be honest, I don't even know who's going to be watching this video. For all I know, that this is my therapy. This is my review of just getting my thoughts out there. Again, I could probably sit here for hours just talking about this film. There's just so much interesting lore that came out in the last few bits that's like, oh yeah, that makes total sense. But I think a film exploring the bridge, that time gap between 2.0 and 3.0, would that's what I think fans want now. I think we're happy with the ending. Well, mostly happy. Not everyone, that's okay. But I think what we need now is that bridge. That critical bridge. I did like this face, that looking back face. It's a very human face for Gendo. Very weird. I'll talk too long. Those are just interviews. You guys don't care. This is what you're wanting to see. Character design sheets for all of our pilots here. I love the white suit. I think it's a very sharp look for the end. Everyone just being in white. Ritsuko's plug suit's freaking awesome. That green. It just could have lasted longer. I just wish they kept it on longer. And then, of course, here you have the Vile crew. Yeah. And then here we've got the villagers, a.k.a. the good old cast of the original. I like the older ladies. I like that they were in this film. Again, there's a lot that I wouldn't change, but just a lot that maybe I would add. I don't know if I would change too much. Maybe just like design or conceptual things, but adding things. Because the film, even though it's 2.5 hours, it's still missing some stuff. The Wunder, I'm a lot happier with the Wunder. I think I made the video talking about my hopes and dreams for 3.0 plus 1.0. The Wunder thing getting fixed, it almost did. I wish they came out and clearly said whether the Wunder was the 11th angel or not. Maybe the 11th angel just cloned repeatedly. Just something something to piece that together. And I like seeing that the Mark 44A, you can actually see it is an Evangelion. It's all strapped down, bolted into place. It's not just the head. It's not just a weird design. So it's like, no, the Evas still maintain their shape, whether it's a top half, a bottom half, or the whole thing just lying on its side. I think that was one of the things I didn't like. Yeah, because we fill in the gaps here with the Mark series, and I like how each one of these are sort of guardians of these flagships, which of course serve to recreate the 4 atoms and the opening of the gate from the second impact. So here, different director interviews. I didn't realize that the film invited other directors onto it. I thought it was mainly just Anno, but no, he had some help piecing this beast together, and that makes total sense. I wouldn't want to write the ending to Evangelion alone either. Certainly a daunting task, and hey, I think these guys did it. So, yeah. I don't think I'm going to edit a lot of this video out. I think I'm just going to sit here and ramble. And if you wanted to see more through it, yeah, just flip through more of it. Or if you get bored of it, then obviously you can just put it down. But this is one fan's musings on 3.0 plus 1.0. Is it a beautiful film? Yes. Is the production there? Yes. Is it a film worth seeing? Is the rebuild worth seeing? Yes. Will you be completely satisfied? That's really up to you. If you are in it for the nitty-gritty technical aspects, I think that there is some controversy about what happened in those 14 years still. But if you are also looking for character satisfaction, I don't know. Depends on if you wanted Gendo to see that ending. It depends on if you wanted this ending for Shinji. It depends on if you wanted the end of Evangelion, the true end of Evangelion, to essentially not have Evangelions in it. It depends on how ready you are to let it go, in a weird sort of way. I think the message of the film, as much as it was, trying not to escape from reality, creating your own world does sound like you're escaping, you're running away. So, I don't know. 1 minute again, I'm totally happy with it. Another minute, I don't know. Mixed feelings, but mostly good things. Mostly good things. So, this is the end of my video. Will I come on here and film another 3.0 plus 1.0 video or another Evangelion video? Yeah, probably. I've got so much to say, but as to when that video is coming, I have no set time. So, thank you guys so much for going through this merch with me, sitting down, just chatting about Evangelion, and yeah, thank you so much for watching this video. Till next time, guys.